Hello folks, welcome to OTD, also known as On The Deck, where you can get all the sports you need in 10 minutes. My name is Adam Orduna, this is my mom Gina.
He is the journalist.
She's the enthusiast.
I am enthusiastic to talk about this topic today.
Well, I'm extremely enthusiastic as well because I never thought that this was going to happen. And so therefore, there's a lot to be enthusiastic about, but only for a short moment because I feel like there's only so much you can be enthusiastic for, because I'm enthusiastic because the fight's happening, but I'm not enthusiastic because of what actually will take place.
So you're talking about the Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather fight. Here, let me hit you with the fight.
Yes, okay, and so everyone's been talking about this. We already did a full episode on this. Go back through, check our YouTube, and watch our initial reactions to when this first came out about them trying to fight. Obviously, Floyd Mayweather is 40-0. He's undefeated, and he is heralded as one of the best boxers of all time.
Well, the thing is, pound for pound, the best boxer of all time, or whatever. Isn't he close to 40? Because when he fought Pacquiao, he was already almost 40.
Yeah, exactly. So he's getting up there in age. His hands aren't quite as fast as they used to be, but he's undefeated, and he is the champ. And at his weight class, no one has beat him. Conor McGregor is also a he is a UFC champion. He is not a boxer. So that's what made this whole thing intriguing, was you got a UFC guy where you are fighting with all parts of your body, where when you're translating in the octagon to the ring, the boxing ring, the square, where it's just your hands. Now, you still have to have footwork and things like that, but you're just straight up boxing, protecting your face, things like that, where in the UFC world, you can take somebody down, you can choke hold, you can knock somebody out with a kick,
the arm lock,
all of that stuff takes place because it's ground and pound, it's all forms of fighting. So how this was going to translate, we were not sure, but now that there's an actual date, August 26th, they finally came up with the date. I just am shocked that they actually came to a point to now that they have a date and they're going to fight.
Well, let me tell you why I'm shocked. Because I think with 100% of every ounce of my body, this is a fixed event. I'm not going to call it a fight because it won't be a fight.
Correct.
The fact of the matter is, boxing, which we learned during the Mayweather-Pacquiao debacle, is about points and dancing. And if I do this and you don't touch me, then I can win the fight. UFC, it's mixed martial arts. It's about trying to take the person out, making them tap out. So I never thought that, this would be a good matchup. So I didn't think it would happen because I thought Conor McGregor had way too much integrity to go into a ring like that and have to go into a fixed fight. I personally believe this is fixed. Yeah. I think Dana White got together, everybody got to the right amount of money.
Oh, goodness.
And there's enough money in it that Conor McGregor's going to go in there. You know what I think happened? You're not knocking me out. Fine, I'm not knocking you out. You're not knocking me out. Okay, well, we got to go the 12 rounds. Okay, we got to give people the money. We got to, we can't do the 2 rounds and out.
The logistics were getting ironed out.
That's what it was. And then it had to be how much money was it worth for Conor McGregor, who I think would knock the mess out of Floyd Mayweather. If they met up in the street, Floyd would be done in 2-3 seconds. But they're in the ring, so how much money was it going to take for a bad man like Conor McGregor to actually go in there, run around for 12 rings, and then let them say on a split decision, the still undefeated Floyd Mayweather? So this is a fixed game.
Well, that's what it is. And for me, Floyd is not going to take a fall. Why would he do that right now? Why is he even fighting right now?
Well, why would he even take a real fight? He's not going to do either.
You're undefeated, and you have the record that you do, 40-0. Why would you all of a sudden now this last mega fight and now you're gonna lose?
Or even risk losing. He's not even gonna risk it.
Just regardless of the fight or who you're fighting, you have an unblemished record, fighting record, boxing record, unblemished. Why would you have that be challenged now at this point in time in your career? So that right there tells you something is up. We talked about this on our last episode, not the last one we did, but when we talked about this potential fight, with how Floyd's camp went and I can't even remember the boxing coach's
the trainer,
name, trainer that trained Pacquiao for his fight. They said, hey, can you go and talk to Conor and try to but you know, go
talk him into letting you train him.
Let him train you, because you know how we fight and you know how we like to choreograph our stuff. So if you train him, then we'll make it work just how we want to. And we know the only way for this fight to happen is if Floyd takes almost all the money. Now, it's not that Conor's not going to get paid,
right?
But you know that Floyd is getting a ton of money for this fight. And Conor's also getting a ton of money for this fight, but it's not going to be the same amount of money that Floyd's going to get for this fight. I agree with you. I know that it's fixed. I don't even have to act like, oh, it's not.
No, thank you.
Fixed. The Pacquiao fight was fixed. The reason why we knew that was fixed is because everybody was sitting there dancing and jigging at the end of the fight.
And hugging.
Hugged
it out. There was months of, I hate you, you hate me, God's going to deliver him, he's a this, he's a that.
Yep.
Months and months and months and months of it. And the second the bell rang, they are literally hugging like long lost brothers.
It was ridiculous.
And people are like, oh, that's sportsmanship. No, it wasn't. This was fixed from the get-go. And
this is also fixed.
This is 100% fixed. Let's just tell the truth. McGregor would knock Floyd out in seconds in a real mano-a-mano fight. Because let's just call it the boxing. Let's just say you punch. UFC fighters don't have all that padding, tape, and 5 inches of padding.
Right.
McGregor knows how to take a punch. Floyd doesn't take punches.
No, he doesn't.
Floyd also has a really bad hand.
Yes.
He can't punch like he used to, and McGregor's a southpaw. I mean, all of these things in a real, let's step it up here and just knock each other out fight, McGregor wins that every time.
These aren't the days, now granted, this totally different weight classes, but these aren't the days, the late 80s, the early 90s, of our boy, who's the heavyweight with the tattoo on his face?
I can't even think. It's so hot out here. I can't even think of his name. Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Thank you. It's so hot we can't think out here.
Those fights weren't fixed. He was just knocking dudes out.
Correct.
Now, they probably didn't have any business being in the ring with Mike Tyson.
That's true.
But those weren't fixed fights. He was just out there knocking dudes out. Lennox Lewis. These are guys that were actually out there fighting, scrapping. Our boy Crawford from Omaha, that's a real boxer. This is a guy that's bringing himself up from his own bootstraps and really fighting people. And so I feel like everyone can pay the money. You want to talk about the money real quick?
Yes. Okay. So it's going to be held in the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, moved from the MGM Grand because there's 3,000 more seats. The price of tickets in the arena start in the 1,500s, go up to 7,500 ticket value. They're saying these tickets are going to go like 120 grand per ticket.
Exactly.
The pay-per-view today is $99.95. I think the closer you get to August 26th, you're going to be talking about $129. You know, it's going to go well over $100 per pay-per-view for people to do this. And at the end of the day, they're talking about $100+ million again for Floyd, and probably close to $100 million, if not more, for Conor.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, I think Conor McGregor, I heard that a few years ago he was cashing a welfare check in Ireland for like $225 a week. And now he has the potential to make hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
Everybody has a price, folks. And I think, unfortunately, they got to Conor McGregor's number.
Certainly did.
And what you're going to see is 12 rounds of dancing.
Yep.
Couple
hits here and there, but for the most part,
and by split decision, still undefeated, Floyd Mayweather. So if you want to pay for that, by all means, do that.
And if you throw a party and you're like, hey, we're having the fight, I will be there. I'm just not paying for it for myself.
I'll be there for the free appetizers and the booze.
Maybe a couple drinks.
But I'm not
for
doing.
For the most part, I'm not paying for it. I already know who's going to win.
Done and
so therefore, if that's the case where everyone's like, oh, you don't know that. I know that. I know Floyd. Period. Floyd wouldn't do this if he wasn't going to win.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Go ahead and
tell
give
the
him
truth
a price
and shame the devil.
That was going to make it work for him and for Conor. And then once they finally realized that they were going to get it done, here's the date. They moved the arena. It's no longer MGM. It's now the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. So more people could get in there and pay more money for the tickets. And that's just what it's going to be. Like I said, I'm enthusiastic for the fact that I'm wrong for the fact that I didn't think the fight was going to happen. Now it's taking place August 26th, and we'll see what happens. But,
well, I can tell you what's going to happen. We don't have to see nothing.
That's true.
It's
honestly,
a fixed fight. Spend your money if you want to.
Floyd's going to be undefeated again. And that's just that.
Hey, Conor, can I borrow a little bit of money?
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, yeah, hook us up with some of that cash. Anyways, we want to say we appreciate your time, and we'll see you again, folks.
Bye, Facebook. Tell us what you think.